A common dilemma is the retention of goals past January. Without adequate preparation, like going through the journal prompts from last week's video or setting specific actionables that we'll deal with in this week's video, it is left to chance to accomplish our goals. Hello, my name is Yambaka Myangani, and in this video, I will sharing with you a savings habit that I got from a former Miss Jamaica World and the lessons we can take from the process, which we can apply to other areas of our lives. About 2 to 3 years ago, while scrolling on Instagram stories, I came across Dr. Terri-Karelle Reid's page, which is the former Miss Jamaica World. And on the story, she had a bunch of containers filled with 50 Jamaican dollars. And she explained that she had amassed them over the year. It was at the end of January, and she was showing us the total. And that is where I got inspired to take on the challenge. And the process goes like this. A specific money note or bill is decided upon. In this case, she decided on 50 Jamaican dollars. When I did it, I decided on $5 Canadian. And then decide where to put it. And also you can increase the value or decrease it, it's up to you. But just decide on the note and decide the location to store it. It could be a folder like I was using, or piggy bag, or just simple bottle containers, anything that can stuff it. And also decide not to open or check in those containers until the end of the year. Again, you can start this challenge anytime you want to and you set the time frame, but if you're gonna do it at the beginning of the year, it's best not to open it until the December that year. Alright, and then you could do this challenge solo or do it with your friends to have more accountability, which is also a reason why I'm sharing this. I want you guys to join along with me and let's motivate each other to save as much as possible. Any loose change you bring home that is in the form of that note or bill simply goes into the storage. You don't even think about it, just do it. I started off with a folder and then moved on to the piggy bank, and consistently after a year I placed my $5 bills into it without having to count. Prior to coming across this challenge, I had always wished to save more each year. Someone once said that when it's obvious that goals cannot be reached, don't just adjust the goal, adjust the action steps. I adjust my action steps, and even when I wasn't working, because I started this challenge when I wasn't didn't have any job or anything, I was able to save more because money that came through gifts or change from others, I was able to utilize it to saving. Later more, I will share with you lessons I've learned and how to modify this challenge for ourselves, but also to apply it into other spheres of our lives. So the total came up to around $210.08, which is good, even though I kind of hope to reach at least 300. But considering my habits were just fluctuating and stuff, and my life situation was fluctuating, and I mean I started this year without a job, so it's understandable, and this was all passive, so that's why it is so. But right now I just want to talk about how to make this kind of savings better and how to just develop goals in general using this as the preset, the guide. To be very specific, so I had the specificity of using $5, which is why you see a lot of $5. Other ones were, by the way, I think one time I remember that I didn't drop, so I put in $20. The other time I changed the $5 to get change for the 100, so that's why there was 100 in the mix. But it's to be very specific. Okay, so if I have a $5 change, I'm going to put it in the piggy bag. like be very specific with your goal, be very specific with your amount, so you know when you have loose change, you just put it in there immediately, or in, if you're doing it online, into your bank account. So be clear and specific, and be like realistic about it. Like, I know that I could easily put $5, it won't hurt too much, like, oh my gosh, that's too much money, versus me saying $20. I'd be like, wouldn't I need this for something? Do you get? Based on my situation, for you $20 is nothing, $100 is nothing. So, you know, get your life situation and then decide on it. The second thing I think to improve would be to have more accountability. Like, it was, of course, the piggyback was there, but I didn't really have any other reminders, and sometimes I kind of would forget, or like not put it as a priority or something. Like, sometimes I would have it and then forget it. So I would like some form of like accountability, like when I was planning for the month, to probably consider that, you know, some reminders on phones to do that. Which brings me to my next point of improvement. It would be to have like a minimum amount for me to put in for a period of time. So I could give myself the goal of putting in at least $10 in the span of 2 weeks, so that I can help myself to be more accountable. So giving yourself room and range, and like a low and a high point, like the lowest you can reach and the highest you can go, helps you to be more flexible and not see it as a burden, but more as having more room for, you know, life situations and emergencies and such. I would like to set an actual goal to reach. So as I said, the total is around 210. I would have loved it to reach 300. So for this year actually, I would start planning on how to decide on a goal of like what I want to reach, like 300 maybe, or 400 or 500. That would be what I work towards, just consciously with that in my mind. I don't have to check it always, but a good check would be like quarterly, definitely. Not every time, because you don't want to be going in there and tempting yourself. So, but like either quarterly or not, but just like remembering that that's the type of goal I want to reach. Not too much pressure, because like it's just for yourself, right? But yeah, that would be good. And another lesson I learned in the process, and how I'm going to use this for future, is how to be adaptable. So as I said, I began this year with a goal of adding the $5 into it, but as you would have seen, I had like a lot of coins in there, because what happened was that I had less cash in hand at a period of time, just because I was doing all transactions online, most transactions online. So if I had cash on hand, it was definitely specific for some situation, and then so that limited the amount of cash I could put into the piggyback, like technically. So then what happened was that I would get tips from work, and the tips were what I would place in there, hence the amount of coins, the huge amount of coins. And that was me still keeping to the goal, changing, being adaptable. So I started with $5 and then just started with tips. So whatever the tips were, I just made a point to just put it in, like not even think of using it, just to put it in. And so you see where it changed in terms of like amount, but still me reaching and working to that goal, being adaptable, assessing my life situation and changing accordingly. So do that with yourself, with money saving goals and any other habits you want to form. Another thing that helped me with is because it was so close and it was in view, so I placed it right here, and I would always see it and remember. So before I use the piggyback, I use a folder. Both of them are still right there. I'd always see them and then reach for them, or like be reminded of that to go in there. But I think that another good way to improve would be to do it with someone. So if you guys are gonna try this out, tell me in the comments. Let's connect and see how we can keep each other accountable. All right, so big ups to Dr. Terri-Karelle Reid for sharing this fun little savings tips. And you guys should follow her on Instagram. I'll leave it below. And also subscribe to her podcast entitled Redirection with Terri-Karelle Reid. It's amazing. But yeah, thanks for watching another video of going on 22 with Young Back Home. That's me. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a comment on what your favorite part was, and also comment a money emoji. Yes, because by God's grace we are going to prosper this year, and it's by using sustainable habits, building good saving tips that'll be able to help us live better and serve God better. All right, thank you. See you until next time. Never stop curating your best life.